Good afternoon, welcome back. We're going to see ourselves the second game of the joinDota League for VirtusPro taking on Sigma International. It is a 2-game series, so regardless of what happens next, only one more game for these two teams. But afterwards, we're going to see VirtusPro again, and this time they'll be up against Power Rangers. So we'll see how that goes. But first, Sigma, they're already one game up. We'll see them now go on from the dire side against, of course, VirtusPro, who are trying to even out the series to make it a 1-1. Of course, I am not by myself today. I am joined once again by GAdvance. Welcome back.
I'm getting Twitter trolled.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
I'm getting Twitter trolled. I can't believe this. How does this happen to me?
It's only, and we only talked about this once on stream, remember?
Yeah, it's happened. I've talked about this once.
Yes.
And there's like, honestly, I like looked through how many different GAdvance Dota or different variations. Maybe, but I think a few of them are different because they're signed up as like different people. Like some of them are called like Ben and stuff.
Weird.
Like one of them's called Ben, and then that was the one that was like, oh yeah, I'll give you it. And then I messaged him, and he's like, not messaged back.
And for people that are wondering, GAdvance's Twitter is still his full name. Basically, doesn't have anything to do with Dota nor his in-game tag. So he was planning on switching his tag to actually be GAdvance or GAdvance Dota, but they're all now taken by other people since we talked about it.
The stupid one is just GAdvance on its own. Is some Canadian company that has nothing to do with me. That was before me. Like, how does this happen to me?
You stole their name. That's how that
I guess I did technically steal their name, right?
Yep, not the other way around.
Whatever. I
Well,
don't care.
We're gonna see VirtusPro going for a dazzle again. We'll see if this is
Have
gonna
you
be bringing
seen
them
these
more
picks
luck.
before?
Well, no, I haven't seen them. Maybe in the previous game. We do have something different, though. I mean, Sigma banned out the Ancient Apparition, so there's some kind of variation. But Sigma goes for the same first two picks again. They are Bane and Invoker. VirtusPro, though, make sure that Sigma can't get their full lineup again either, because they pick up the Batrider, which was on the side of Sigma the previous game. And actually, surprisingly enough, they ban out the Lifestealer themselves, which is one of the things that I kind of like about Batrider. Him being one of those basically hitchhike heroes that Lifestealer can jump in and can make big plays happen and stuff.
He is a great hero for carrying people with, but the thing about Batrider is, the most powerful thing about Batrider is that you can pull people out of position, which is very rare in Dota. Very few heroes can do it. Some of those heroes that can do it are things like CK, which the rest of them is kind of weak in some ways. So that's the powerful thing about Batrider. So to an extent, you don't need to piggyback into the Batrider to actually get the Lifestealer to the target that you're going for. It's nice. I think it's a smart option, though, because Soshka's Lifestealer actually proved very, very capable in that last game. And the hero is very capable anyway, and I think it's just something VirtusPro don't want to have to deal with, you know? There are some heroes where you play against them, even though if you know exactly how you should be able to deal with them. I mean, they have a Batrider, right? They have Lasso. They can lasso him, pull him back, whether he's in rage or not, it doesn't normally matter. But Sigma actually... smart counter pick versus the Batrider here, because the thing about Nyx Assassin is you go in any of Batrider's fire and you use your Spike Carapace, and suddenly that stuns the Batrider. So that's a smart pickup, I think. But yeah, you don't need Lifestealer with Batrider, it's just nice to have.
Yeah, and you don't, but as you said, you don't also necessarily need to ban out the Lifestealer against the Batrider if you already have a Batrider. We have Sigma banning out the Slaughter. I mean, doing that again. Don't want to have the minus armor stacking up there. And Ember banned out again, making it through to the second banning phase, surprisingly so. I think this is probably a very smart ban for VirtusPro. We saw Miguel's Clockwork doing so much work in the previous game, so they banned it out. So that's probably the smartest decision they have made so far. No, that's rude to say, isn't it? It is.
Wow, that's mean.
Well, I'm actually quite curious to see what kind of role Nyx Assassin is going to play, because we've seen him on the offlane as well as support. Now we can basically assume that Fada will play the Invoker mid, so that's out of the question for the Nyx. But I wouldn't mind seeing him on an offlane, and maybe even have some 2-on-2 lanes. It really depends what kind of carry they want to pick up for Soxka this time. There's still so many in the pool, and one of the heroes that is still in the pool that we have seen so much of, and nothing has changed since she was like the #1 pickup, Luna. Where did she go?
The thing is, Luna is slightly weak versus very strong initiation. because she is kind of squishy. And as well as that, I feel like Luna was maybe overpopular, right? Because she's a very safe pick. She doesn't particularly do anything great other than her team fight presence is pretty strong. She does put out good damage, but she's very vulnerable. She needs a lot of farm. She is very good at pushing. I don't know. It's a possibility for both of these teams. I wouldn't particularly want to pick it versus Nyx or Batrider, though. That's the thing. And one team has Nyx, the other has Batrider. Do you really want to pick it at that point? She is very squishy.
Well, we're gonna have take 2 for Naga Siren, most likely as a carry again. If she is a support though, I mean it's still strong with the dazzle, with the healing wave and the mirror images, of course. They lack the ancient apparition chilling touch though, which is a bit of a shame, but nonetheless potentially strong. It's just that, you know, you just lost the game. You lost it heavily, and even though I appreciate them trying it again, because, you know, it could just have not worked out because of a couple of things and they think they can fix it in the next game. Fair enough, but I'm not sure if I would agree with that on a game like this, where, as we already pointed out in the first game, kind of VirtusPro need to get a win, and if they want to make sure that they are not dropped down to Division 2 in the next season of the joinDota League.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be in the playoffs either way, probably,
yeah.
But why put yourself in a position where you're more likely to lose? Let's be fair.
Yeah,
Naga Siren was one of the biggest problems that they had that game because she's such a burden early. She's so difficult to play around. The supports have to do so much to keep her alive and to keep her farming. I wouldn't want it.
No, especially not with the Nyx Assassin and Bane already there. Now, granted, that's not the most scary thing that you can think of in terms of supports, but they are supports that can make a lot happen. The moment that they turn level 6, Naga Siren will not have her probably Radiance up yet, and they can shut her down heavily. It's scary, and especially look at this hunting team right here. Bounty Hunter, Invisible, Scouts Out Heroes. You can help them out with the Nyx Assassin, or Invoker can come running, which he does really fast if you skill his Wex, which is something that Fada does. Or pick him up with the Tornado and go in afterwards. This is just hunting Naga Siren team right here.
And why not, right? Why not? Because right now, VirtusPro don't have anybody who can level 1 fight people. Luna. I think this is a smart option. They finally pick up the Luna, and I think this means that the Naga is going to be a support. I'm glad they did this. It's still vulnerable, though. It's still the same...
Sorry.
Nova. Need to do the accent more.
Nova.
It's good.
Thanks. 10 seconds remaining. Nova. Well, Nova is going to go to... the VirtusPro people, they're indeed Naga Siren support. I'm a bit more happy with this. I like her as a support also because she's one of those supports that can potentially do very well late game. If this game lasts very long, then Naga Siren is one of those supports that can turn into something way more than a support. So I like this. I do.
Not only that, as well as that, even if she does just go, you know, support items, doesn't get a huge amount of farm, late game, she's still huge in a team fight. She's still huge as a tactical presence because you can say, we can split push, or we can, you know, go further than we should do. We can dive into the enemy base just for one extra kill, and then just, you press R, everybody walks out again, and the enemy team can't do anything about you unless, you know, Fata's Invoker, again, double tornadoes them from 2.5 miles away.
Yes, which can happen, to be honest.
Which can happen, because Fata is a great Invoker player,
and
very dangerous one, which is why Sigma are just picking it up first every time, which I think is a smart choice for them, especially because Sigma have been struggling earlier.
What do you think about the Morphling ban? I mean, we have seen Morphling a bit more and more lately, but I have to say, his performance has been kind of underwhelming from my point of view.
I've seen, it's funny because all the top teams that I've seen have picked Morphling have done very badly with him. And then the sort of lesser known teams have picked Morphling and have done great. For instance, in Screen Squad, I believe, they picked him up in... I can't remember what they picked him up in. But that team had no hope of doing well in the tournament that they were in. They picked up Morphling, and he destroyed everything for them, and they managed to do pretty well. But then he got banned in the next game and they got kicked out. But
poor guys.
I mean, you know, ups and downs. They still did well, though. The Morphling absolutely destroyed for them. It depends. I feel like it would be pretty okay this game. because VirtusPro still don't have much to pressure a safe lane farmer, but that said, Luna is probably going to out-farm them, and even if the Morphling gets very, very farmed, she probably can't burst her down completely because there's a Dazzle there. So I feel like it's a bit of a wasted ban. Maybe they just take it out because they just don't want to play against it.
Whoa, I thought like for a second there like it was a good ban because I mean Sigma obviously was kind of lost maybe in terms of what they were going to pick up, or they were just discussing their game plan, which can of course happen as well. But they only had 2 seconds left in their bonus time. They go for a Tidehunter. They're going to try to show VirtusPro how it's done, and perhaps this is the EG type of bounty hunter where we have seen Fear run a lot of safe lane bounty hunter, which can actually work out very well. And on top of that, I am still kind of hoping that perhaps it's going to be Tidehunter farming. But they could also go for bounty hunter farming, Nyx Assassin offlane, and put Tidehunter and Bane as supports. There are so many options right now for Sigma. It's very flexible, but in terms of late game potential, I'd put it in favor of VirtusPro if they manage to come through the early to mid game unscratched.
Yeah, it's going to be all about how many kills Sigma can get in this early game. I think it has to be that aggressive tri-lane, and like you said, that farming safe lane bounty hunter, and in fact it does look like that, because Soshka's going to be picking up the bounty hunter. That can work very well. There's one thing that you shouldn't do. See, I can work that out now. I speak that language, whatever that language is. Secunda.
Normal.
It's second.
It's a French accent.
Why are you saying it? Why are you saying it with that accent though?
Because
like,
the French people are in the side of the Sigma, but you know, VirtusPro said it. They're detailed. He's up against French people. He's learning to speak French. Secunda, please, bitte. Oh, that's German. Never mind. Jeez, that's not going well, is it?
I mean, it's going okay. We'll call it that. Yeah, I really want to see this bounty hunter on the safe lane, because I actually missed all of those games. I heard about it and was like, I'm really glad to see that. There's one thing I want to tell people before they see this and start trying to do it in pubs and stuff. Don't go Battle Fury. Please.
No to chat, don't go Battle ever.
Don't do it.
I'd say ever on bounty hunter.
I would honestly say ever. No matter how well farmed you are, no matter what happens, don't do it. Just don't do it, guys. It's not worth it.
Just go for, if you're offline, just go for all the auras you can think of. And that means drums, AC, Vlads, etc. And if you then have gold left, you can go Desolator or something. But otherwise...
I would say BKB as well. You know, get something that means that you can actually get in there and track people. That's the important thing about Bounty Hunter is getting track kills. Nothing else really matters that much. Your damage is not going to be that great. You know, maybe if you get a Battle Fury and a couple of Rapiers, it is, but if you have a Battle Fury and a couple of Rapiers, there's something seriously wrong with the game you're playing.
Yes. Let's take a look at who's playing what. As we do have the roles, of course, switched around, or sides switched around. So, once again, you're watching the joinDota League. This is game 2 of the 2-game series. It is the last game between VirtusPro and Sigma that we will see. But afterwards, we're going to see VirtusPro taking on Power Rangers. Jodam will take on the Batrider here, will be on the offlane for his team. We have got Arsart this time on the Dazzle. That means that they have indeed switched around of roles. As in, Arsart was the Tidehunter previous game, and Jodam was the Dazzle, as they find themselves maybe killing off a Bane here. He's gonna have to walk in flames soon. Maybe? No, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe just run for your lives again. They at least, made sure that there's not gonna be a rune picked up, if there was a rune spawning there, which is bottom for regen. Oh well. There was no first blood on the board. We've got Illidan playing in the mid lane up against, or on the Luna. They will be trying this as a dual lane up against the Invoker. Bottom lane will be NS Naga Siren supporting, as Lark will be played by G on the bottom safe lane. I kind of am interested to see what Naga Siren is saving for. She did not spend all her gold. She still has 300 gold left, but I will leave Sigma for you to introduce first before we're going to find that out.
Yeah, unique lanes from VP, but on the side of Sigma, the offlaner for the team, it's going to be Miguel. Hopefully he can do as well as he did in the last game where he absolutely dominated on a Clockwork. He's on Tidehunter this time. In the middle lane, it is going to be Fata on the Invoker, and top lane, we have a very interesting and unique tri-lane here. Soshka is going to be on the Bounty Hunter farming, and the support, well, it's going to be Pass on the Bane. And fucking mad, he's on the Nyx Assassin now, despite the fact that normally he plays the Bane. So I'm
unless
very confused by all these role changes.
Like unless we had the previous game the other way around, but Yeah, we don't
I
know
can
that.
check. I can check.
Yeah, good check. It's okay. We have Fada, by the way, actually getting some last hits. The first 2 are on the board. Yay! It's a very difficult lane for him to be against. However, the most important thing for an Invoker is next to farm. I mean, farm is of course still important, but levels is the thing that he wants. And he's still getting those, as in the meantime, bottom lane has got a pounce up on Miguel. The Riptide is there as well, but can they actually take him down? The Ensnare comes out as well. There is going to be another pause in 13 seconds, but they might not. Oh, they didn't go for the block. I thought they would go for the block. The Self and the Riptide from Inez gets first blood. Now he's sitting on 900 gold. Maybe we can finally find out what he's going to be buying here as he gets boots first. In the meantime, Invoker gets picked up in middle lane as well. That was the Dazzle and Luna doing the work of the Poison and the Lucent Beam. And Fada dies. So in terms of experience, he missed a little bit, but not that much, to be honest. Not that much.
No, the thing is, they're not going to zone him out of experience range in this lane, just because it's the mid lane, and it's almost impossible to actually zone people out of experience, but they can kill him, you know, they just proved that then. They actually have very, very good damage early on. Invoker, not particularly a hero with tons of HP, and actually, VP, I think it's very important that they do focus on this Invoker in this game, because the Slark should be pretty farmed. I mean, that's almost an inevitability, but Illidan, he's very vulnerable in the middle lane here, and Fata can still kind of turn around and kill him with a little bit of help, even possibly with AA there, because at the moment he doesn't have Grave.
Yeah, and on top of that, looks like the Bane... Oh, he's already backing off. I thought for a second there that perhaps Bane is going to stick around, see what he is... like, if he can help his teammate a bit, but he is rotating back top. They want to try and maybe shut down the Batrider, because Batrider, he's level 2. He's maybe not doing amazingly well, but as long as he's getting levels, he's doing okay. All he wants is his level 6. He'll get his farm later on. His Fada gets slowed down again. There is no more Lucent Beam coming out from this Luna. And the Cold Snap actually comes out with a tower hit still as well. The heal is there. No Grave just yet, but that is already a showing of how scary it can be.
Yeah, very dangerous situation there. Fata, very powerful player, really. And he's playing on an Invoker as well, who, I mean, we've seen it time and time again. It's almost always been a first pick hero. Even when he gets serious nerfs, he comes back.
Oh,
and
Miguel.
now on the bottom lane.
Yep, the pounce is there. The Riptide is already on there in the Ensnare. Yeah, I did think there should be another kill depending on how the Cricket Shell works for him, but it looks like... Oh, hiding in the tree line. One more hit needed. He gets away, and Inez is going to be the one to die. The Brain Sap and the last hit coming out. Bane will take that one, and I think a bit of a misplay though. I don't think that Tide should have lived there, as G perhaps can turn this around. He is pouncing up on the Bane, and perhaps he can chase him down. There is a Dark Pact, which he actually did not use. He does use it right now, which is only going to hit him on the outskirts. One more hit, he's going to die for it. Yeah, good job. Dive, that is, not die. But yeah, at least he gets something there, but I think that Tide should have died there too.
Absolutely, that Tide should 100% have died then. I mean, the first kill, you said it, they should have done the block. They tried to this time. They messed up their block, didn't block him properly, and then he just sort of walks into a corner. They could both see him.
He stood still.
They absolutely could both see him. But yeah, he stood still, and apparently G is a T-Rex, so if you stand still, he can't see you anymore. And he just gave up on it. I'm really not sure about why.
That's not a thing for T-Rexes.
Yeah, it is. That's meant to be a thing. No. I remember it from... Alright, maybe it's a made-up thing.
You remember it from the prehistoric times or what?
Yeah, it was in Jurassic Park. They talk about how if the T-Rex isn't moving, they can't see him.
And perhaps
admittedly,
really
that movie has some really messed up science in, so it's probably rubbish.
Jurassic Park, quotas for truth, people. You learn every day.
Somebody will have to like actually tell me whether that's legit a thing or not. I really want to know. I feel like it should be.
That sounds so stupid. But it could be right. I mean, you know, I didn't live when dinosaurs were walking the earth, so I don't know.
Well, on the other hand, I did, so I can tell you.
Good.
I can tell you that that's how it works.
Okay, well, so far, I mean, despite not getting that kill on the Tidehunter and losing the Nagasire, and VirtusPro is still doing really well. They might get Fada here as well, but he gets a Tornado off on 3. And with the Cold Snap coming out, whoa, what happened to my camera right there? We do have a Gray for Luna. Looks like she will be able to walk away alive. And that is going to be all she wrote here for both sides, as Tidehunter once again dies. This time the dive was successful. Sorry for my camera there. I think I clicked on the minimap. It looks like G is still going down from the tower there. Doesn't have any mana to stop that from happening. But most important thing here to note is that Luna lived. Did not die.
Yeah, important that the Luna lived then. It looked like she maybe was going to go down, and maybe if the Bane could have, ran into them and suicided, they might have got the kill, but in the end, they're just trying to keep Fata, okay here, because he is struggling in this middle lane. The base damage difference between Luna and Invoker at this stage of the game is absolutely ridiculous. Look at Luna, she's hitting for over 100 damage. Fata is, with phase boots,
I want to look top.
30 behind her.
Because Arsart is in some trouble. The Impale, oh wow, that's a whiff if I saw any, but it doesn't matter. Because Bounty Hunter was doing enough damage to take the kill down. He's got level 3 on the Shuriken Toss, so that was doing enough burst damage right there. And that's another kill going the way of Sigma, and that is one of the scariest things that you can think of for VirtusPro, because yes, they were doing okay on the lanes. But then you have a Bounty Hunter that was doing okay as well, because of course he's a safe lane farmer. Track kills are all that Sigma needs to get fully back into this game, and on top of this game too, if they want to. As Tidehunter comes around, he's not level 6 just yet, he gets ensnared, losing B, Miguel! I think that he might have just come in from the wrong place, but luckily for him, he's able to walk away, and Fada is able to cold snap Illidan away from chasing that. But that could soon scare you pretty fast for Miguel there, but yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people running in, not dying, and then being completely fine for various reasons here. Be it, vision problems with T-Rexes, or just not having the damage at this point. It's all about Soshka. It's Soshka. I hate it when people do that. Oh, it's like, please, use your real name. But Soshka is just walking around now. He's hit level 6. He's just walking around trying to find kills.
Because at some point someone asked him, do you want to be called Soshka or Paris? And then he said, "Oh, I'm okay with Paris." I have to say though, every time I see that, I think of Paris Hilton. Isn't it like, do you really want to be called that?
Is Soshka in a sex tape?
I don't know.
That's the important thing I think from that.
Would you really why are you so interested in that?
Because it'd be funny. Can you imagine how funny that would be? That would be a great piece of news to wake up and one of my friends is like, "Did you hear what happened with Sigma?" And I'd be like, no, what happened? Was it like a drafting thing? And he'd be like, no, Paris was in a sex tape. That was brilliant.
Oh, cold snap coming out on Illidan again. It's a bit of a turn and burn and cold. You can burn with cold. That's true. But Fada, he is trying. He's sitting on 17 last hits only though, and is really struggling a bit in that regard. Illidan is sitting on 35 with 21 denies. So if we're saying it's okay because he's still getting experience, wait a second, a snare coming out on Slugshka there. There is also the lesser. Do we have the detection? Yes, they do. Sentry ward down right there, and that is Bounty Hunter dead for the first time this game. As he tried to make a play on an S, but couldn't get it out. Couldn't get it done.
You couldn't get it out?
Yeah, I don't know. You messed up my brain just now. So
I've got
to deal with that.
I'm so sorry.
Wow, EMP coming out, Arsart. At least he's gonna have enough mana left for a grave should it be needed, but we have to be mindful for Miguel because we know that he is a playmaker on basically all heroes he played, as we saw the Clockwork in the previous game. But he has his Ravage.
Yeah, that said though, this game, he's playing on a much less mobile hero. I mean, look at Tidehunter. He's basically just an enormous watermelon. He's pretty slow. He doesn't have a blink dagger or anything at this point. Actually, he's not that slow. He's pretty okay movement speed-wise, but he's moving around the map pretty slowly compared to how he was beforehand, and the ward vision for VP has been pretty defensive so far. So Miguel is struggling to actually be involved or, create any kills at this point, which is just, the nature of Tidehunter as well. He's a teamfight hero. He's very specifically a teamfight hero. So outside of a big teamfight, he's not been particularly useful. He's just a big watermelon.
Hey, you know what? In theory, Sigma, Tidehunter doesn't have a blink dagger yet. He'll probably get one eventually, but so imagine 5 versus 5. There's an invisible Bounty Hunter, and apparently VirtusPro is not going to be placing sentries in the hypothetical scenario that I'm creating right now, which of course they do, but, theoretically. And then they also have an X-Assassin there, invisible, that can already stand around where the fight's going to happen, and then they can tornado, and then during the tornado, the Tidehunter can walk in, and poof, happened.
They can definitely do that, yeah. That's definitely possible for them in the mid-game, so he perhaps doesn't need a blink dagger that badly, but right now, he doesn't have a way of creating kills, and Paris is actually struggling too, because he's just running around the jungle a lot.
Oh, NS though!
Goodbye, NS.
That is a vendetta coming out from the Nyx Assassin. It was his first solo kill, well, solo vendetta. I think that's solo, he's with the Bounty Hunter. But that was a track kill as well. Most importantly, it was preventing Naga from getting level 6. He is so close, yet so far.
Yeah, that Naga Siren, it's one of the issues that you do have with picking up support heroes in this patch who are pretty defensive, and Naga Siren is one of those heroes who's very defensive, is you struggle to pick up level 6 because you can't jungle very effectively, and it looks like actually the mid lane here.
Nightmare on one, Fiend's Grip on the other. Still some damage coming out in the Bane, but it is of course the Luna that they want and they are happy trading a Bane for that one. NS, walking around, knows that there is someone beside him. He doesn't have an snare though, does have a song if he really wants to. In it goes, they really want to take him down. We have got more from Sigma coming in as well though, and they're going to be outnumbered. VirtusPro is only 3, and there's 4 here for Sigma, so it is VirtusPro that has to run. Nyx Assassin coming in, already walking past the sentry ward. They know he's there. Arsart has got that Grave up, just has to be careful. Tornado came out, the Gush as well. There is that Ravage still. Miguel, is he going to get in range? Another Mist Impale coming out from the Nyx Assassin, and it looks like they are backing off once again, and now Illidan is back. In comes the ensnare, but careful, as the Ravage is still there. Never mind, it's gone. Nice Eclipse. Might be slightly overkill, but it's that risk of a Ravage that you don't want to have. So at least VirtusPro still got a kill out of all of that. Which is...
Took them a long time to get that kill
yes,
on the board,
it did.
and in the end as well, they still traded a kill. There was a kill very early on in that, and it was from the Bounty Hunter. So I think they got a track off for it. That's the important thing, because Sigma, they do lack late game capability. They have a pretty good team fight, but Invoker, not a particularly great, late game semi carry. The same goes for Bounty Hunter. What they need is more kills on the board. Look, I mean, they've only got 5 kills so far, and they have a Bounty Hunter. That's an issue for them. They need to be able to basically secure more on the ball, and that's just VP playing very defensively at the moment. I mean, G is going back to base for mana. Look where Illidan is. He's not even showing up in the middle lane. There's 3 people on top who are actually now smoked up together, although apparently NS thinks it's a bad idea.
Yeah, well, I think they saw the smoke coming out from the Bane. He smoked in range of creeps. The pink came out from the Dazzle, and I think that's why they're being extra careful right now. They're hoping for someone to defend bottom lane, but it's so obvious. I mean, there's a Tidehunter that hasn't ravaged yet, right? You want to ravage if you're a Tide. There's just, I know that feeling. You just want to have that team fight, but VirtusPro is not going to give it to them. In the meantime, on the middle lane, it's where they want to make something happen, perhaps. They want to try and maybe take a tower down. They were going on the Nyx Assassin, but Spike Carapace came out for that one. So now plays a sentry. But they could maybe trade towers. That could be something. Oh, gee. He gets the kill here. Nyx Assassin still gets an Impale, and actually, no, Dazzle still gets the last hit there. In comes a Fiend's Grip. I'm not sure it's gonna last, Bane. It's not gonna last at all. 2 supports down the drain for Sigma. Teleport in from the Invoker. But again, I mean, if you are gonna team fight, you want to have that Bane there. You want to have the Nyx Assassin there. So Miguel, it's probably not worth it to go. Or maybe they still want to. There's so many people here, though, for VirtusPro. We do have them running in. In comes Miguel. He looks for the Ravage. He finds it. He hits one Dazzle. That's all. Batrider already got picked up before that, and Dazzle is going to walk away with, well, basically not a scratch. Not a scratch at all. As we have G. You're walking past the sentry ward, buddy. He's going to go for this. He doesn't have his ultimate. He doesn't have his Shadow Blade. He's going to try to run for this. And he can. And he can. Well, at least that was a Ravage. You saw how desperate he was to throw that out.
Yeah, he was desperately trying to get into the fight there, and that's exactly the problem, is they lost their Nyx Assassin, who is, at the moment, their only major initiator. So, because the Nyx Assassin is down, the Tidehunter just has to walk towards the side of VP. And what did VP do? Well, they were all bunched up. They just run in different directions. And in the end, the only person they hit with it is Dazzle, who, frankly, doesn't matter if you hit him with Ravage. It means nothing to them. Because at the moment, he's providing Grave and a Poison Touch, which are pretty good spells, but, nothing huge.
Oh, Lasso blinking from Jottam. Looks like they can still get that Invoker down with the Eclipse coming out, the Dust coming out there as well, and Nyx Assassin 1 hit away from dying. He doesn't have his Spike Carapace anymore. And in comes the Lucent Beam. Illidan will take that one. Double kill for him. I mean, Sigma, yeah, they Ravage. They still got a track kill there, not because of the Ravage, but they got a track on the Bat. but they're still losing ground real fast, and I think it's also indeed time to see some extra towers fall. We have got VirtusPro in favor of this game. Granted, not as much in favor as Sigma was in favor of VirtusPro previous game, but they are on the right track, and as you already pointed out, later on in the game, that Luna is going to outcarry the Bounty Hunter. It's just that simple.
Yeah, and the Slark as well. Slark, another hero who's very good at that. Nobody can man-fight him this game. And Slark is great at getting into those positions where he can 1v1 fight people. The difference between this game and the last game is that Sigma don't have as powerful a comeback mechanic. You know, they can't do a huge split push and, oh gee, is going to get another kill.
Yeah, the Nightmare's there, but the Dark Pact comes out. Maybe he can still make something happen, and Brainstep comes out, but the Song as well, making sure that that EMP is not going to do anything. But, or is still going to do something, actually. That's still blurred the mana. But it actually bought time for them to get away. I was the Invoker thinking on the other side again. Wow. English is hard. I know. It's okay. Nobody died.
English is hard.
Yeah.
Nobody died, but that, again, that's a problem for Sigma. Sigma would almost be better off letting the Bane go in that position and, you know, hoping that they can somehow allow the Bounty Hunter to get in around the back and use that Invoker, you know, use his disables, use his spells so they can burn off some mana from that Nagastone so they can't use that Song of the Siren. If they can't use Song of the Siren, then perhaps Sigma can secure some track kills, and they need them badly at this point because they're very quickly running out of physical damage, and their teamfight, the initiation, isn't strong enough yet to make up for that. They need one or the other. They don't have either at this point.
Tornado EMP coming through again. It's just missing everybody though, but it does scare them off a little bit. I mean, they might have not gotten anything with the G rotation in the jungle just now, but they do prevent that Nyx Assassin from making his own plays. He was forced to pop the Vendetta defensively, forced to go back to base, and you already said it earlier that Nyx Assassin is the playmaker right now for Sigma, and he can't do it. One thing that I'm kind of expecting to come out soon, most from VirtusPro, but for Sigma as well, the gem. Where are they? Because these supports are spending fortunes on wards, counter wards, and every type of ward you can think of. It's really draining their gold real fast, I feel.
It is draining a lot of gold for them, but to an extent they perhaps just don't want to buy them this game. Both teams have invis heroes, so losing a gem hurts you more than it perhaps normally would if you actually have an invis hero as well. And, I mean, Sigma have two, but, you know, VP, they're running a Shadowblade Slark. Admittedly, if Slark just goes into that Shadow Dance, even the gem doesn't work on him, but this is the important moment for Sigma, actually, because whilst that Nyx Assassin, he hasn't been able to get the great initiations he needed to this game, Miguel has managed to farm up a Blink Dagger. It's not a particularly fast one, but it's a Blink Dagger nevertheless. Yeah, for an offlaner, there's nothing bad about that. Otherwise, I mean, he's had very little impact so far. He's 1, 3, and 2. That's mostly feeding, let's be fair. But Blink Tide is, of course, incredibly dangerous. And wow, G is going to
die.
Big mistake from him. Why was he positioned there?
He was kind of thinking, you know, we're winning this game. This is, by the way, very scary. Luckily, Naga Siren has the gem still in the courier. Because if this courier would have died, they just bought that gem still for the Naga Siren, which is, of course, the best one to carry it because his illusions will gain that true set as well. They can't have... Oh, Ravage coming out, hits upon 2. They go for the Dazzle here first on the side. It's already dead. Now goes an S as well. 2 supports down. We have got Luna coming in with an Eclipse. Wants to take down the Bane, but gets put in a Nightmare first. Jottam making sure that that kill still goes the way of his team, while the rest of Sigma was already on the way out, running as fast as their little legs could carry them. Actually, I'm saying that, but they are going to try and turn and burn. They tracked up Impale Luna. You're dead. Looking for another one. The tornado is long enough, but the Blink was first. Jottam should be able to get himself out safely. And again, that courier hopefully still has a gem. Did he actually give it to the Naga? Oh, he's back into the Naga's hands. Okay, yes. Because that is, I mean, you said it just now, but it's scary. It's something that we have to keep track of as we have Nyx Assassin, Spike Carapassing the scary G away. But that fight was exactly what Sigma needed. Granted, they don't take any map control over the top of that one, so no towers down, etc. But that is how scary they can be. If they split up VirtusPro, if they get them out of position, they're deadly. They really are.
Absolutely, and a big thing about Sigma's lineup is they don't have particularly great push anyway, so unless they absolutely destroy a teamfight, unless they get a gold advantage from this track, they're not going to be able to actually, you know, really take some towers very quickly.
Ooh,
because
wow.
they don't have much physical damage.
That lasso, I would say that I would hit mid force staff, but still good kill. Jodam still finding that lasso there. He, by the way, has also got a force staff next to his blink, and I mean, Sigma just took a bunch of kills, didn't take down a tower. VirtusPro take down 1 kill, and it looks like they're also gonna get a tower off the back of it. They do lose their Naga Siren here on the bottom lane, as it looks like Naga wants to wants to try and get something. Was that the gem? Was that the gem?
That was the gem, but Soshka doesn't have it. Where did it go? Did he drop it?
Tower goes down. We don't have a Ravage up for Miguel just yet. The Tornado will put 2 up in the air, and it will already be a track kill on Dazzle. Looking for more, looking for G and Jodam. Can they fight themselves out of there? Luna still goes down on the back end of the fight, but the other 2 back themselves up, and we're gonna find that gem. It is in the hands of the Bane. That gem only just purchased. Naga Siren was not near his team. Died and gave, like, that's such a huge ordeal though.
Yeah, this is a huge moment for Sigma because they finally have got a chance to take down a tower. They got a couple of track kills in there. They didn't lose anybody during that fight as well.
Yeah.
So
and
this is huge for them. They picked up the blink on the Nyx Assassin. They picked up the courier from the enemy team. They picked up the blink on the Tide a little bit ago. Fata's probably moving towards a second item now. Soshka, he's actually going for BKB. I think this is a smart choice just because he can't afford to be disabled at all during these fights. Admittedly, there isn't a huge amount of disables on the side of VP that he has to worry about, but there's a lot of damage, for instance, magical damage, like Eclipse that can come out that can really screw you over if you're out of position and on your own.
Yeah, I have to say, you can lose fights against the lineup of Sigma. It's fair enough. I mean, Sigma is a strong team, but like that Naga being so far out, like his entire team was pushing middle. He was the only one that wasn't there, and there is such a strong hunting lineup for Sigma. You can't think yourself safe just because you have a gem. It's just... Yeah.
Yeah, a gem doesn't mean anything if the person who's going up versus you is going to kill you 1v1, basically. Yeah. And that was exactly what happened. Paris just picks that off, and, well... Now, I mean, VirtusPro, they're still maintaining their game plan. This is smart from them. They're on the bottom lane. They just 5-man, they group up, and they push. But these next couple fights could be very dangerous for them, because Sigma now properly have their initiation. They have very strong team fight. And if they initiate first, which they likely will do as long as they know where VP are, because the thing is, VP are going down a lane pushing, right? Yep. So Sigma can come at them from any direction that they want to, as long as, you know, a Naga Siren illusion or something like that doesn't spot them out. So it's all up to Sigma now, and whether they get these next couple fights starting. They need to start these next couple fights, you know, just go on anybody you can whenever you get an opportunity at this point.
Yeah, they're trying to fight here on top. It looks like they're gonna get scouted out, though. That Blink Nyx did not end up going for the Impale. He I believe he saw an S around there, so was a bit scared there. Rightfully so. Sigma just gave up 2 towers. What did they get in return? I don't think anything. I'm not... Like, Sigma are doing well for themselves, considering the rough start they had, but... They can't give away too much, as we do have an Nyx Assassin, or he can just walk through. The lasso goes out, hits himself on the Bounty Hunter, and the Bounty Hunter already gets picked up before anything else. The song comes out now as well. Perhaps they can find some more. They will also see Miguel. He has that Blink Ravage. He gets it up on 3. Will go down straight after, and he did not set up for anybody. And Snare will make sure that the Bane doesn't teleport out. 4 dead for 0 in favor of Sigma. And the only one that's alive is the one with the gem that we saw walking past, couldn't do anything, backed out, led his team to die, and this will be the last outer tower going down on the side of Sigma. And that fight was completely owned by VirtusPro, purely by getting that Bounty Hunter locked out with the Batrider.
Yeah, and that's the difference that having the initiation means. They just lost 4 people on Sigma. If they'd have got in with their Tide Hunter, or they got in with their Nyx Assassin first, probably not the Nyx Assassin just because he's carrying the gem, but if they got in with their Tide Hunter first, Ravage, and perhaps saved the Bounty Hunter, but they weren't able to do that, he was too far away, and, well, VP gonna take a Rax from this pretty easily.
Yeah, Impale comes out up on 3 though. That's a mini Ravage right there as the Fiend Script makes sure that Bane... or Batrider rather, was holding in place. He gets a grave. Tornado will still pick him up, and he should still end up going down. NS tries to run himself away. Track goes up left and right. We'll see who they end up finding still. As Slark gets himself away in a Shadow Blade. The Gush comes out for Arsart. He will still get picked up there, but at least it is not a very hard carry, as Ines is running for his life. Not a carry either, but he is trying to save some gold, so he really does not want to die here. I think he doesn't really have that much of a choice, because he doesn't have a teleport scroll. Lesson number 1, always carry you can't do that. No. Nice try though, but that's 300 gold lost for him. That's why you have to carry a teleport scroll. That's lesson number 2. Lesson number 1 was not standing in fire. But yeah, we have a...
Lesson number 3 is stand still in front of T-Rexes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, we've got a Skadi up for Slark at least. I mean, that's one of his... Like, a core item would be... Like, he doesn't need specific core items, but I now consider the Skadi around the 26-minute mark core item for him. So, gonna be good for him as he finds himself a bounty hunter. He doesn't have detection though, so he can't take down that kill. And talking about detection, it's still in the hands of the Nyx Assassin. Who, by the way, I mean, the Ravage was on cooldown, but that Impale did a lot of work for Sigma. It saved their ranged Rex, melee Rex rather, because the ranged Rex were the one to go down. Still in that fight.
There's no way they could have taken that fight normally without that. And like you said, Nyx Assassin actually ravaged them with the Impale there. Managed to get 3 of them with an Impale. It's hard enough getting a 2-man Impale. Some people even struggle to hit a 1-man Impale now because of the way that you can't target it. It's you know, you have to. It's a skill shot now.
Yeah, we've seen Nyx Assassin miss a couple of Impales this game already, so it's good that he made it right again.
My favourite moment was when that change first came through, and Nyx Assassin was considered to be pretty OP, and he was picked up by Mushi, and I'm pretty sure Mushi missed every single Impale.
Yeah,
it was absolutely glorious just watching one of the highest rated players in the world just never hit the enemy team.
Wow. Oh, Batrider looking for some blood. Finds a Bane. I think Bane is not going to live very much longer. He can put himself in a nightmare perhaps if he... Yes, he can, but he will go down afterwards. The song, though, prevents him from going down. Now in comes the Ravage. The Ravage, though, is it enough? I don't think it is. Illidan is just too strong at this moment. He put on his BKB, and... Yeah, he should be able to take down some more, as Fada is not going to be able to run from this. Perhaps if he goes invisible. No, he cannot. He's already dead. Nyx Assassin doesn't die, which is good for him, but I don't think that it's going to matter all too much. He's going to be the last survivor if this Batrider, or sorry, if this Bounty Hunter is going to go down. I keep messing those two up. Then Snare. Oh, yeah, that's 1 kill at least. Okay, they get a kill. Yay. This Nyx Assassin keeps being out of fights. That's a GG right there. They don't want to do this anymore. They don't want to bank on that one big team fight going their way. They don't want to do it. Sigma, call it out. They ended.
Yeah, they didn't have any buybacks, so they weren't able to defend their second racks, and they'd probably lose 2 racks there. The thing with Sigma is they didn't have any physical damage that game, and VP actually played pretty unusually. They put that dual lane mid, so they were able to get farm on a Luna and a Slark, which is very, very greedy, but it actually worked out well for them. So I think that was very smartly played by VP there. A big changeover from how they played the first game, which was very, very passive, which was... frankly, not the sort of game that you expect to see from a CIS team. It was, I'm glad the way they chose to play that there. It was smart by them.
Yeah, I fully agree. We are going to see ourselves VirtusPro again. Let's see if they can keep running their high, basically. They will be facing Power Rangers in the next matchup, so stick around for that. More joinDota League coming up in about 15 minutes time, so you've got some time to get yourself some food, some drinks, etc. If you want to. Anyways, we'll be back. Stay tuned.